So, as I have mentioned before, we have a lot of spoken languages in this world. We have a lot of writing languages in this world. So, the linguistic people or the linguists try to end up their study into data platform. And one of the data platform is called language family. Do you know how many language families are there in this world? I just give you some. And the reason that I give you this, because there are more than language families than this, than what I have told you. You see, you can check, you can read from any linguistic text, or you can check from your Google that just type down language families of the world, and then it will come out. In different, people have different ways to divide. People have different ways, methods to classify. So don't believe that this is the real and the only one that I give you. There are many linguists who try to set up the language family with their own method. But here, I would like you to take a look. There are some main families that you should know. At least right now, you should know about, Indo-European family, Sino-Tibetan family, and Kradai family. Why? We are going to talk about your experience. You have one language experience. Everybody has to study Pali or Bali, right? And you should know about Indo-European, because Pali or Bali is one of the, the language, in one of the languages in Indo-European family. How? You read about that, you take a look about that, and we discuss about this later on. Sino-Tibetan. Sino is China, Tibetan or Tibet. So Sino-Tibetan is one of the family that include languages in China and languages in Tibet. See, this is the family. It's like the father and the mother, and then they have a lot of daughters, sons, children. So you can take a look at that. Just know that, okay, these two families that we should have experience with, okay? Another group, another family that I would like you to take a look, is Kradai, or sometimes they just call Tai Kadai. Tai, T-A-I, dash, K-A-D-A-I, Tai Kadai. So this is what our language, Thai, is classified into this family. Before, Tai Kadai or Tai Kadai is included in Sino-Tibetan, is what children, grandchildren of that family. You just take a look at that. But this is one kind of classification by a certain amount of linguists. But you can see different, from some kind of other text. Because why? Because I just say that you just, let's say, this is not the exact theory. Language is flexible. You see that languages are flexible, so it's not very clear-cut exactly to be the theory. That's why I use the word approach. Approach means you can change, you can adapt, you can modify. Okay? So these the language families in this world, there are many, and there are a lot of children and grandchildren languages. And what are they? You can learn by yourself. This is the one. Or if you are interested, sometime we can come back, okay? But today I would like to go on what we are going to do, how many languages we are going to deal with in this class. It means that what are the focuses of languages we are going to talk about in this course of morphological analysis. I think that I'm going to focus in 3 languages that we know. Okay, one is Thai. I don't know whether the students here, you come from different countries, okay? But if you are in Thailand, it will be advantageous if you can study Thai, even though not 100%, but you can communicate conveniently or comfortably with your Thai friends, okay? That is good enough. Another language that we are going to give example or cite when we analyze or when we use our methodology is English. Okay, everybody knows English right now, including even though you are Thai students. Another language that we are going to use, is Pali or Bali. Bali will be used in 2 writing forms, okay? One is in Thai writing, and another one is in Romanized writing, for the sake of those who cannot read Thai very well, and for the Thai people who would like to study when you go abroad, and if you would like to propagate the Buddhism to your foreign friends, you can use Romanized alphabets, to transcribe Pali or Bali. So these would be the 3 languages that I'm going to use in this course as the citation and the analyzed example, okay? If you would like to have some more languages, fine, that's good. Because I remember that when I study morphology myself in my master degree program, I have to learn about a lot of languages because I have to try to analyze to find the structure different from each other, as many as possible, Not only because I want to keep my brain very excited, but just because I was assigned by the lecturer by that time. So now I'm going to do the same thing to you, okay? So this is the way that, okay, we are going to study linguistic to analyze the language. To get what? To get the language structure. According to linguistic studies, the language structure of any language in this world can be classified into 6 levels of language structure. The primary or the first one, the smallest one, unit, or the level, the smallest level or the smallest unit of levels in the language, in any language, is sound. Okay, so it means that language is built or is created from sound. And how many sounds are there in each language? That is what you are going to learn about. Now you have to be able to tell me that how many sounds are there in Pali, how many sounds are there in English, and how many sounds are there in Thai. At least 3 languages that we are going to talk about in detail, okay? The higher level or the larger unit is called syllable. Syllable means the combination of either one, heard sound or one not heard and one heard. The sound that you cannot hear is called consonant, right? But the sound that you can hear by itself and you pronounce, that we call vowel. Okay? So syllable is a combination or the sound that you can hear when it can stand alone, or one vowel or combination of consonant and vowel, we call syllable. And then the larger unit, the next level is words, the level of words. And the larger is that we call the level of phrases. Phrases in Thai is vali, right? And bigger than that, larger than that, larger unit than that is called sentence or sentences. So people speak language with using sentence or sentences. And since language can be produced, can be generated with non-stop, no limit. So it means you can speak as long as you want. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, until you stop breathing, So we cannot say that in a language how many sentences are there. It's indefinite, unlimited, as long as one can build, And usually when you become tired and you cannot speak anymore, for example, like me, right now I have been talking with you for more than 2 hours, If I finish, I stop here. The level that I speak will be called discourse. I can speak a lot of discourses. It depends on my energy, my ability to speak. So usually people will speak not many discourses because the competence of hearing of the receiver is not big. If you are going to listen to me, sit still and pay attention to what I am speaking, you can endure, you can stand for only 45 minutes at most. After that, you get lost, you lost your attention. That is normal with human beings. That's why we have to practice meditation, because you can concentrate more than 45 minutes, you see. Why we have to do that? Because if you are going to concentrate, you are going to practice, meditation, and then you can concentrate at doing one thing more than the other people. For example, one book, someone can read only 4 or 5 pages. But if you just practice yourself, if you meditate, you can practice until you can concentrate on something. Your mind is very still and your mind is very mindful. So you can read the whole book without any exhaustiveness, without boring, without tiring, at all. See, this is the way, the good of practice. Or we practice chanting, สวดมนต์ right? If you can chant very long, many discourses, it means that you practice your, concentration, your samadhi would be very great, right? By bhavana or develop yourself all the time. So this is the way that is natural, how you can win, how you can become leader, how you can achieve leadership, meditate, okay? This is the reason why you come and study here at this university, I think. So this is that we say that, okay, when we are going to analyze the language, one particular language or many languages, You just try to analyze a lot of languages. Why? First of all, you would like to know the families, right? Two, you would like to know the difference or the similarity of those comparative languages. But if you would like to analyze or study one particular language, it means that you would like to know the structure in detail. Okay? Like we are going to try to do together, we are going to start from next week, that we are going to talk about, one particular language, the structure that we call morphological level. Okay, we are going to talk about morphology. It means that last semester, you have studied about the smallest one, the smallest unit, that is about the sound or the phone, right? The phonology already, I assume. But I'm going to check with that. If you don't have that, we can come back and then talk about phonology one more time, if you like. It depends of your need, okay? So, there are some keywords that you have to clarify and you have to understand by yourself, Today, I would like to give you at least 5 linguistic terms that you have to know. What does it mean, and how can you get, the details out of that? Semantic, what does it mean? Syntax, what does it mean? Lexicon, what does it mean? See? Morphemes, not morphine, okay? Morphemes or morphology. Phonology. These would be involved with one particular language analysis. You get these technical terms because you would like to know about what this is, and you can use this properly. You see that linguistic is a kind of major, academic major program, because there are a lot of terms that you have to learn, you have to know. This is why we have to pay the whole semester talking about this kind of thing, okay? So today I would like to end up with the conclusion of what we have discussed from the very beginning of these hours. And I would say that the importance of study language, or the question that you have to answer to everybody, that why do we study language? Why do we have to study language? Even though you speak language every day, see? It doesn't matter. You say that, oh, it is not very important because I speak every day. But if I ask you, even though you speak every day the same language, are you sure that you speak correctly, properly, that you can make them understand you? That is one thing that I would like to ask. Another thing, even though right now you cannot go anywhere, you cannot travel to foreign countries, no matter how far or near, because of our friend, COVID-19 is close to us. But remember, if you have a chance, or if you had a chance to go abroad, and you have to communicate with people over there. You have to go to the shop to buy something. You have to go to a restaurant to eat something. You have to go to the places to visit and get information. And if you don't know about the language that they are using over there, can you communicate? You are sure that you will be very happy and people would accept you, or just look down at you as a second-class citizen, or inferiority complex of people, something like this. This is the reason why, according to the neuroscience program, they just say that the more languages people know, the less sick there will be, see, especially at the brain. So you would say that people who know more than 1 or 2 languages, they are very clever, considered as smart. If we have our Prime Minister who speaks more than 2 languages, he would be considered as a genius, right? But if you have one leader who speaks only 1 language, and even though in that 1 language cannot communicate very well, and he cannot raise, faith from the people, can you accept that he is a good leader? So on and so forth. So, the reason why we have to study language, there are at least 4, 5, 6 benefits that I would like to tell you. You can believe it or not, it depends. But I would say that if you study a language well enough, you will acquire better tool of communication. Of course, you can switch your back and forth all the time. หันมาข้างนี้ก็พูดไทย and then turn to this side you speak English and then to another side 你今天晚上有功夫吗我要请你吃饭 something like that, so you can get the better tools, you can go around and then you can communicate with a lot of people. That is a benefit, right? So that is, we have to study language, okay? Another point, you can improve how a language works. You can explain why we have to say the cat sits on the roof. Why we have to put S? Can you explain that? If you cannot, if you don't study the language structure, you never be able to say. You just say that, oh, it is because it is so. มันก็เป็นอย่างนั้นแหละตับตา No, that is not right. You can explain, you can tell the people, you can become a very good teacher, if you just learn about language, okay? We study language because it can hone problem solving and analytical skills. It raises up, it makes your problem solving and your analytical skill better. You don't have to sit down. Why, and why, and why? I can do this. I cannot do it. No, it is impossible. No, I cannot do. You see? But if you study language, you can answer. Because what? Right now, if you just know only Thai, when you turn on Google, you just look at all the Thai language, right? And you never know about the answer. For example, if you would like to know one answer of one thing in Thai, maybe you get only 100 answer, but in English you get million. See, that is more beneficial to be accepted in the society, right? Okay, if you study language, you will get better cognitive abilities, and that's what I tell you before. You get good brain, better brain, because you are very active all the time, and you are very, energetic, because you won't be afraid. People who just know very little or never study language go everywhere, just walk like this, sit like this, never look up like this, and smile and contact with people anywhere, anybody, anytime. See, like this. So you will get cognitive abilities if you know more than one language. You see, that's what I tell you, if you learn to speak a lot of languages, I'm sure when you become old, you never become Alzheimer. See, this is what they have proved from the neuroscience research, and it's very easy, that you don't have to get some pills, or you don't get to have some medicine anywhere. Just speak, just use the language, just write a lot, write many languages. That's very good. That helps you to be healthy. You would like to be healthy, right? You don't want to get sick, right? You want to get away from sickness, right? Speak, write languages in parentheses, okay? And if you study language, of course, you can express your thought and you can perceive the other's thoughts very well and better. Instead of saying, what did he say? I don't understand. Oh, that one speak Chinese, low language. Why low? Because you don't understand. That's why you just contempt or you look down upon. And that is, losing game to live in this world. See, this is the reason why I think that, okay, at least you come to this course, you learn something, and it helps you at least if you know more than the other people, if you learn more to communicate than the other people. I think that is the advantage, and you think that it is worthwhile to come and study this course. Okay, so we are going to stop here today, and next week we are going to start talking about what we are going to concentrate more in the course together. Is there any question? Is there any problems that you would like to let me know, okay? Just don't hesitate and send me good news, not fake news, okay? Anytime. And before I see you again next week. And if you don't understand, if you don't like the course, please feel free to let me know, because I'm going to report to your university that my lecture is not, understandable for you. But I hope that you enjoyed it, at least, more or less, from what we are going to see each other this way for this week. Thank you.